What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Wars of the Stars, episode number 57. Today, I'm joined as always by Alex. We're going to do a re-review of season 2 of Star Wars Rebels. Next week on the docket, we actually get to talk about some new content. We'll be previewing the Batman. Very excited, very excited. I think it's going to be the biggest comic book movie of the year. I know people are saying Doctor Strange, but it's Batman. It's Batman. I just gotta say it's Batman.
Is
By
that
the
why he
way,
wins every fight?
no, but it's grounded superheroes are much cooler than dudes who can fly. If I'm being honest with you, he's more relatable.
Hmm.
That's kind of weird though that a orphan that's psychotic is more relatable. Just shows you what superheroes are. But Alex, how you doing, man?
I'm fine. I had a great interaction at work with one of my coworkers who was leaving. It was not good. She almost got her shit rocked, but that's
Wait, you said
besides
it
the
was a
point.
great interaction, or were you being sarcastic?
Sarcasm, man. Come on now.
It was pretty bad sarcasm, but that would mean it's good sarcasm. So.
Mm. Yeah, but other than that, I've been working on my Mandalorian helmet and printing my first piece of the suit right now. So if you hear some lovely engines and
Oh, you're doing the whole suit.
yeah, since I'm pushing my Iron Man shit back to around April because I do not have the space right now for it. I need
Is
to,
his is the Mando stuff easier then? Is that why you're
yeah,
doing it?
uh, easier. I mean, the finish is a lot harder to get right because it's silver, it's
Right.
metal. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's all I've been working on for the last week.
Nice, nice. Um, so we got a bunch of cool stuff to talk about today. We'll talk about John Williams coming back for Kenobi. We'll probably that conversation will also divulge probably into the other stuff we've heard about Kenobi that's rumor based. Jon Watts in talks to direct a Star Wars series. What? We'll talk a little bit about what the series is, what we kind of know about it so far. And then Alex will ask the question of the week. But first off, I want to mention you saw they did the meme, the Spider-Man guys.
They
They did the
did.
meme. That was great.
I'm really upset when it's coming out though.
Is it
March,
like April the 4th, right?
middle of March.
Yeah.
Very upset that I have to wait. I thought it was going to come out at the end of this month.
Nah, I don't care either way. I'll probably get it. Probably be one of the only MCU movies I own.
Nope. I'm going to be getting it on digital. I'm going to be
And
getting it on Blu-ray.
and we're probably going to get uh Netflix shows
On Disney
on Disney
Plus.
Plus. So we might have to watch those because I haven't watched all of them.
I watched one episode of Daredevil and was bored out of my mind.
Oh man. All right. Let's talk about Rebels season 2. Okay, so I'll go first since I'm the newbie, or not newbie to Rebels, but I haven't watched as much as Alex. Season 2 was definitely an upgrade. Definitely an upgrade for sure. Again, still lacks in the villain department. Um, but I will say, the beginning of this season with the Siege of Lothal and Vader, fantastic. And then
Yeah.
the end of the season, the back end with it's the Twilight of the Apprentice, part 1 and 2.
Top tier Star Wars.
Some of the best Star Wars, man. And I was thinking about it today. I'm like, in a matter of 44 minutes, Filoni had on the same planet Darth Maul, Ahsoka, and Vader, and it all worked perfectly. And I think it's one of my favorite iterations of Maul. And I just
Oh,
started
yeah.
season 3 today, and I already love the character of Ezra way more in season 3. And I could tell the distinct difference that you kind of touched on. I'm like, okay, this dude
Mhm.
changed over. And Kanan really stood out this season. Like he became a really, really strong character in season 2. He's also he's become like one of my favorite Jedi. I'm not even kidding. Like he's become
Yes.
one of my favorite Jedi.
I'm
He's
sorry.
just so funny.
He's
He's so
he's
funny.
he's easily one of the best comedic Jedi of all time. I love Kanan. I love him. uh,
In the Spider episode on Chopper Base, he's like he's like to Hera, he's like, here, this is my smile face. And he like smiles, and it's one of the funniest. It's like that's such a Kanan thing to do. And I mentioned to Alex, bro, like if Kanan didn't have the Force, he would be like smoking like spice in Star Wars, just like in a
Han
cantina.
Solo and Kanan would be the greatest friendship of all time.
Like Kanan's got to be the most clumsy Jedi on the planet. Imagine if he didn't have the Force, bro. He
I
would just
know.
not. He would just not know what he's doing at all. Like just
I,
be out there.
he's elite, dude. I'm telling you, it's a shame that in season 3 and 4 that they don't keep it like this. Granted, I
Yeah.
know I know they give him more of a character. Oh, but like still, like I like funny Kanan. He
No,
feels
I
like
really like
he,
this canon.
you know what
Yeah,
it feels like? It feels like every time we see him, it feels like him and Hera just got done having sex, and he's like so excited from the experience.
oh man, he's such a like. At the same time, he's kind of got to be like a dad. He's also got to be like an older, like he's a funny dad. Like he's
Hmm.
that funny young dad that everybody like likes.
Yes,
Um,
he's someone who's like, oh, you're gonna go over to Ezra's house, and you're gonna go to. Oh, I want to go with you just to talk to his dad,
just to
Kanan.
talk to Kaden. Yeah,
Yeah, like
yeah.
especially I love. Oh my gosh, because we watched it together, the Cham episode when he points to like this is Ezra, Sabine, and Zeb, and he points at them all wrong.
He gets Chopper. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I also love the moment when he's like, Ezra, you're making me look bad. He stands
Yeah.
stands up straight. It's like, why are you trying to
Yeah.
impress Chom? And then he talks to him about like Mace Windu and stuff. It was good. It was really good.
Mm,
Um, but I think it's like perfect for this type of show because you couldn't have a Jedi who was too stoic, too
mm.
like Jedi-y, if that makes any sense. Like too much of a
Yeah. Like
traditional Jedi.
in
Like
the
Kate
first two
works.
seasons, yeah, in the first two seasons, no way. In season 3, when the show like tonally takes a darker route, yeah, then you could have Kanan turn into what he does in the later seasons. But
Right, right.
right now, the show's very lighthearted. Again, we had the Mei run episode last season, and Idiot to Ray also, which I gotta say, I don't think there were any bad episodes this season. There were definitely some like
Uh, so I'm
say
looking at it right now. The first 5 episodes I love, right?
love it.
The Lost Commanders, the Relics of the Old Republic. It does such a fantastic job of reintroducing us to Rex, to the clones in general, and it's a great reintroduction to those characters. And it's a great introduction into Ahsoka and Vader and that whole storyline that comes to fruition later down the line. Always two there are. That's when they go to the old medical base. That's a really good episode.
Yeah.
Um, seeing, it wasn't a fantastic episode with Vizago, but it was Hondo, so it was good. And he has the funniest line ever, where he's like, "Now, now, now, let's not talk about your wife like that."
Yeah.
As Morgan, yeah.
Dude,
Win.
you slam on As Morgan too much.
No, he is the second worst Star Wars character of all time.
No, no,
Absolutely,
no,
absolutely. He's Jabba that can run.
no,
Yes, yes.
no. He's
Wings of
amazing.
Wings of Master is okay. That's Hera getting the is it the B wing, right?
Yeah.
That's okay. It's not
Blood.
great.
Yeah. Blood Sisters. I'd
I
say Blood Sisters is probably the worst of the season.
I don't like the friend at all. And it's upsetting kind of because that's one of my complaints is Sabine's kind of a weak character to me.
Until season 3 and 4, she's a very. I'm not gonna say one-dimensional character. She just she's Mandalorian. She likes to draw. She likes weapons,
But she likes to blow stuff up.
and she likes to blow stuff up. That's really it. That's kind of her personality.
Right.
Um,
Like it's like she was a former bounty hunter, like, okay,
mhm,
that's kind of cool. And I kind of thought about it today. I'm like, huh, her story kind of mirrors Din's almost, right? Former bounty hunter,
yeah.
Mandalorian on her own. And it got me thinking about like the
Ruler of
Filoniverse and stuff.
Mandalore.
Yeah, she technically had she
Mhm.
technically should have ruled Mandalore.
She did. She led the Mandalorians into fighting the Empire on Mandalore. Now, granted, she then gave up leadership to Bo-Katan.
Stupid decision. Top two stupidest decisions of all time.
Yeah. But then Stealth Strike, great episode. Future of the Force, great episode. Legacy, S tier, like Star Wars story. Princess on Lothal, amazing. The Protector of Concord Dawn, another great. This is a great Sabine episode.
Yes, it is. And I want to go back to Princess of Lothal because we talked a little bit about it. I love that episode. Because I think Leia, even though she's a legacy character, we got to think about this. Out of all the legacy characters, she's gotten the least amount of content, right?
Yeah.
So this episode to me was very, very meaningful to finally get like a younger Leia who's leading the rebellion like fully. And it was really interesting. It was a funny episode, but it's
Mhm.
also the dialogue between her and Ezra I thought was great. And it's really weird because I told Alex, I'm like, these two are only like a day or two apart. Like Leia's
Mhm.
probably only a day or two older than
Mm.
Ezra.
They
I
were
assume
born.
Leia is
They were
born the
born.
day before Empire Day.
No, they're born on the same day. Empire
Really?
Day. Empire Day is Palpatine's message that the Republic will be turned into the Empire.
Okay, so they are born on the same day.
Ezra, I think, is born a few like 2 hours after the speech, and Padme gives birth to Luke and Leia like 4 or so hours later.
Okay. But it's weird because Leia kind of carries herself like she's much older, like even throughout the crew. Like Kanan doesn't know what's going on half the time, which is also why I love him.
Mm.
And
He is the Din Djarin of this show. Like
yes,
he forgets what universe he's in sometimes.
right. I love his. If we'll talk about it for season 3, I'll save that thought. But yeah, Leia's like lines of dialogue, like I know what it's like to lose, and like it's just like, oh man, like
Dang, she sounds
wow,
like Thanos right now.
I know what it's like to lose. Um, but like it's so good. It's so like because they're like the same age, but Leia carries herself like she's much older, which was
Yeah,
great because it comes off of Ezra. And what I really enjoy about the show is it doesn't dwell on Ezra's parents for too long.
yeah.
Like that's not just like dwelled upon. It's like, oh, here and there we'll hear about it, right? And then eh, she he learns that his parents died. What is the gentleman's name again that he learns it from? The
Uh,
Lothal governor,
Ryder Azadi.
Ryder Azadi. He learns his parents died, but his parents heard the message. Legacy is a great episode. What this season specifically does a great job of is one introducing Ezra's connection to animals, and I kind of want you to touch on that because you like that. I think that is what differentiates Ezra from other Force users, even though Grogu does it now, but Grogu just does everything. But
Yeah,
I think Ezra's shining characteristic.
yeah. Is his absolute connection to animals. Because I think what's cool about Ezra is we see his journey with animals. When we see him first connect to animals, he connects to this huge monster on the asteroid. And the way his first huge interaction is an interaction with the dark side. And you would initially think, oh shit, well that's gonna put some not so great memories into Ezra. And so, you know, all this is happening, and you see his progression as he connects to the animals. Then he connects to the Loth Cat, and the Loth Cat leads him to Ryder, which leads him to his answer about his parents. We then see him later connect to things like the Purrgil, and those one animals on
Will they fight
Shroud. Yeah,
they fight the Inquisitors? Yes,
yeah, in
yeah.
Shroud of Darkness. And then we see him connect to the Loth Wolves and all that. We see that his connection starts out as something bad, and he gets progressively better and more infused with the light side. And it's again, he had easily like his ability to connect to animals was easily one of his most like unique traits, like by far.
Absolutely. I 100% agree. And I kind of want to segue now into A couple episodes before that. I thought Stealth Strike was okay. Kaden and Rex. I thought that was. I think their dynamic is very good, right?
Yeah,
Because it's an interesting thing to explore, an interesting concept. A clone who didn't well, technically did commit Order 66, but had the chip removed, and Kanan, who is very wary of clones, who literally saw, as we saw in the Bad Batch, see saw his master get shot
gun
down.
down.
So it's very interesting dynamic there that I love. And I also love Rex, right? Who can't love the captain of the 501st? So I really enjoy that. The future of the Force. It reminded me so much of that Clone Wars episode. I can't remember what season or what it's called. You know what I'm talking about? Where they save the children from Mustafar, the kids.
Yeah, I think that's like season 2.
Yeah. And by the way, I gotta say, the design of cities and planets in this show is so good. I
Beautiful.
absolutely loved that episode because it felt so like urban. It felt so like you
Hmm.
were like this. If you were to take like the city of San Francisco and drop it into Star Wars, that felt real
Yeah,
to me. It felt like it could connect
yeah.
with it.
And
The
then we
planet
get,
designs are great,
and then what I also love about Future of the Force, it's the reveal of Ahsoka's white lightsabers. Like
right?
mind-boggling. First time we see white lightsabers. Um, I wish we got a reveal of like how they were white, why they were white. But
It's
if
in
you
a
read,
book, right?
yeah, it's in the
It's in
Ahsoka book.
she
Yeah,
takes them from she
she,
purifies a
yeah,
red crystal. Yeah,
she purifies an Inquisitor's lightsaber or crystals, which is not which is the fan idea is that the Inquisitor's lightsaber crystals were hers that Anakin or Vader got from the end of season 7 of Clone Wars.
that would be cool.
They always came back.
That would be cool. Because we don't
So
know what Vader did with those lightsabers. I'd like to think he kept them.
yeah, I think he probably kept like the hilts, but yeah, Future of the Force. Like I think, um,
I swear to God, if Filoni, if you put those lightsabers in the Ahsoka show, like Luke's like, oh,
crazy.
here, I found this in Vader's shrine on Mustafar. Take these. I think they're yours.
Hmm.
I will bawl my eyes out.
Yeah,
That'd be
I think
crazy.
I think what's crazy is from episode 9 all the way to episode 18, just amazing. Like B to S tier Star Wars.
We don't talk about the Forgotten Droid.
It wasn't a bad episode. You're overdoing
Uh,
yourself.
uh,
You're
it
overdoing
was
yourself.
it was tough. I mean,
The
it's not as bad as the. Or I shouldn't say that. Is it as bad as the Colonel Meeble Gascon stuff? It's bad. It's not good. It's very like it's not good.
Mystery of Chopper Base was okay,
I liked it. It was solid to me.
and then we
Uh,
get Twilight of the fucking Apprentice.
like great
At,
Star
like
Wars.
not even S tier, like SS tier.
Yeah, it's some of the best Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. Ahsoka, Vader, and I will say, my one problem would have kind of come to accept it that it is his character. I don't like how Kaden defeats Maul.
Really?
No, it's so lame. I have to. It's so lame. It's so
No.
corny. I think
Other,
it's
I honestly have to say, and you have a lot of firsts when we talk about Rebels. You are the first person to ever say that.
it's
In,
corny. It
in
really
the
is to me. It doesn't
see,
work.
this season came out almost 7 years ago. In the 7 years that this show or this season's been out, you are the first person to complain about how Maul got defeated.
It's lame. It's so lame because he's literally pulling the strings and he literally has them. And he has a blind dude in his sights who has literally been blind for 2 seconds. Okay, Kanan's whole arc at the end of season 2, at the beginning of season 3, is to learn how to see again.
Hmm.
Like, what is just have like I think it's more impactful. I'm not saying he'd like have Maul escape. Just leave. Like he already set the trap. He he understands like, oh, uh I can't control the temple to destroy the Sith and all my enemies. He knows Vader's there. Early in the episode, he senses a presence of somebody. He knows Vader is there. He's gonna be like, "Oh, I'm outgunned. I'm outnumbered. I've already drawn myself. I'm just gonna leave."
Yeah.
I don't like it. It's really corny to me. Like he over pursues him and he falls off a cliff. That's so dumb. I really do. I really think that's really dumb, especially because then we're supposed to believe that like he's capable of beating Kenobi, and I understand that Kenobi has to live, right? So like I just don't like it. I don't like it. I understand that Maul's destiny is always to lose, right? That's always his goal. He's always supposed to suffer. But god damn it, like he can't even beat Kanan when he's blind. How am I supposed to take him serious half the time?
But I think the thing about him, though, when it comes to how do you take him serious, is literally look at him in season 3. That man, until he dies, is a fucking menace. Like, I mean, the way he carries himself and all that. And I think with this, Maul at this stage in his life is destined to lose each fight. He's Maul is so overdrawn in revenge that he will do anything to kill anybody who's wronged him. And in this
Oh
sense,
my god, think of everything that's like happened in his life. Taken
yeah,
away from his family, served in the dark side, got cut in half, came back,
came back as Spider-Man.
right? Lost his brother, lost a whole entire planet that he ruled,
Mhm.
got captured, became the leader of a criminal underworld, somehow lost that. We still don't have an explanation. Was
Mhm.
alone on a planet, came back again, and then died in the sands alone.
Yeah,
That's a
that
pretty sad life.
it is. And my thing, if you have the problem with it, how would you have rewritten it to be better? Because I think here's my thing, is I think if you don't have this duel, I think it cheapens Kanan's blindness, and I think if you also do this, then you're kind of just like, okay, well, Maul wins a fight against Kanan, or he blinds Kanan and then just dips. Like that would seem, in my opinion, very, very anticlimactic.
Right, but the explanation would be simple that Maul rigged the temple because the temple was going to be used as a weapon, and Maul was like, "Ah, I don't need to be here. Everybody's just gonna die on this planet, so I'm gonna leave."
But wouldn't it make more sense that he would want to kill someone, you know, that
Well,
he just injured?
he doesn't. Well, you could just make the simple explanation that he doesn't see Kanan as a worthy adversary.
But then also in his past life, like he saw a Padawan that was severely undertrained and all that. He saw her as a worthy kill.
Are you talking about Ahsoka?
No, the around the time when the Sith revealed themselves,
Ah,
uh, he Maul
right. But
and
you
a
also have to
Jedi.
remember, at that time he's younger. It's a little bit different. He's trying to prove himself.
He's trying to prove himself now. He wants revenge on the same person for, geez, at this point, what, like 20 something years? Bro, Maul and Kenobi, they might as well just get married to each other at this point.
Bro, I feel like he's got bigger beef with Palps at this point. Like
I do
Kenobi cut
too.
like Kenobi cut you in half. You got over that. You lived.
Yeah, you got cool new sets of legs.
Um yeah, I don't like it. It's corny to me. It's weird. I just don't like it. It doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know why. It just doesn't work. I really feel like if the explanation's like, Maul's like, I gotta get out of here. The temple's about to blow. And Vader's here, and everybody's gonna die that I hate. Because he probably also hates Ahsoka. Let's be real here. Like
Yeah,
he just
that man got embarrassed by her.
right. Um. So like, yeah. I don't know why. Like, and this scene to me is weird. It's like, and then you gotta make the explanation that Kanan can't see. It's like he beat Maul. I understand that Maul is arrogant and that's why he felt like I understand the reasons why it happens. I just don't like it. My thing. I wouldn't have done
Okay.
it because he's a menace those 2 episodes, bro. He's pulling the strings. He's turning Ezra. He's basically the catalyst for why Ezra starts to become more into the darkness. And I love his introduction. He's like, just call me old master.
Mm-hmm.
Formerly Darth, now just Maul. And then I love the scene where he saves Ezra and you think he's just going to take the holocron and
Mm-hmm.
leave him and he pulls him back up. Such a well executed scene because you're
Yeah.
like on the edge of your seat the whole time because he's
Yeah.
holding Ezra and it looks like he's pulling for the holocron, but he pulls him up. It's like,
Yeah.
so well done. So well done.
Yeah. But I think also, you know, when I think of two, or when I think of the three major fandoms, Marvel, Star Wars, DC, I think this episode features the character who gets the Batman treatment, who gets the Thor, or no, or I'd say the Wanda treatment of Darth Vader. Everybody thinks Vader would just obliterate everybody in any universe because he's Vader, and I like this fight with Ahsoka.
I love it.
I think it
Um,
is the best duel in Star Wars.
I won't go that far, but I will say that it is one of the more emotionally impactful. Like probably behind Anakin and Obi or Vader and Luke in Return of the Jedi. That's my favorite duel.
Uh,
Vader and Luke in Return of the Jedi.
I think my favorite duels are like tied for like first, and I have like three or four. And I know you're not gonna like this. You're gonna hate me. You're
Do
gonna
not
stop.
say the Last Jedi one. Do not say the Last Jedi or Force Awakens.
Luke versus Kylo on Crate is one of my favorite. I know it's not even a duel because lightsabers never connect. I still love it. It's one of my favorite lightsaber fights.
That's so
Like,
funny because it actually might be my least favorite.
yeah, I know because you wanted Luke to go in there and fucking cut his head off and walk away.
Yeah, yeah. Toxic
Uh,
man, baby.
I
You
know,
know
I
me.
know. And another is Ahsoka versus Vader, Luke versus Vader in Return of the Jedi.
You do not like Anakin versus Obi Wan on
No,
Mustafar.
it's not. I don't. It's not that I don't like it. It's over choreographed. I love the story behind it, especially if you watch the TikToks I sent you about Obi Wan and Anakin being the greatest comedic duo of all time in Clone
Right.
Wars.
Well, I also have to say that Kaden and Ezra might be my second favorite
Mm,
Padawan and Master
yeah,
duo. Has to be
but
because it's also like Anakin and Obi Wan's, where it's like an older brother, little brother type of thing. It's not like
yeah,
ones because I don't like the generic. Oh, he's the master. Here's the apprentice. They're kind of closer. I wouldn't even. Well, they're kind of closer in age, right? Kanan's like 30 something, right?
no, he's like 20 something. He's like 26, 27. You have to think he's like 12 when Order 66 happens.
Right. So like,
Well, I
Rebels.
know. Yeah.
Rebels is 14. Oh, so he's probably like 26. Yeah,
Hmm.
he probably is like 26. Yeah. Um.
He's the greatest dad ever at 26.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's fighting Din for being world's greatest dad.
Thank God he didn't have to raise that ugly kid. Sorry. If they bring him into live action, they gotta do something, man.
They'll probably redesign him.
Yeah. You think we'll see him in live action? We got to, kind of, right?
Either in Ahsoka or Rangers.
Yeah, I feel that. What else do we want to talk about?
Mm.
The
Wow.
honorable ones.
Such a good episode.
I love it. Simplistic in nature, but
Yeah.
like enemies have to become friends. And Zeb is really strong. And the Return to Lasat,
Mm-hmm.
really, really good episode.
I'm sorry, but I love season 3, but I think season 2 is just. I would say maybe season 3 is just a tad bit better than season 2 at its in-depth character episodes. But come on, Shroud of Darkness, the honorable ones, Homecoming, The Call, Legends of Lasat, The Protector of Concord Dawn.
Homecoming's solid too, man. Really solid
Yeah,
episode with
yeah,
Cham and
but
we see a little bit of Hera's Chapelle accent come out, the little French
yeah,
accent come out. Chapelle.
yeah. But again, like Legacy, Stealth Strike, Blood Sisters was okay.
Nah, I'm not down with that.
Yeah, it's like Twilight of the Apprentice, the Siege of Lothal. Um, all these episodes, the character story is just so good. It's again, I'm gonna say it till the day I die. Star Wars Rebels character development is just X amount of times better than Clone Wars is. Just, I'm sorry, but if you try to tell me that,
I can't say that because
mm-mm,
um for the three main characters, and again they're two different shows, but for what they did to characters like Ahsoka and Anakin specifically, two characters that first off Ahsoka on reception, and then second off Anakin. The Anakin Skywalker, if you didn't have the Clone Wars, is nowhere near as dynamic as a character. And I don't think you probably see him in Kenobi as Hayden. I think a lot of it is probably because of how well, and I know Hayden has nothing to do with it, but how well he is done in the Clone Wars. Add in that extra Leia, and then
no.
Ahsoka, and then even Obi-Wan's like the. I will say, Rebels, with it being limited in scope, I sometimes feel like I have repetitive plot points. Oh, we're on a mission. We got to get fuel. It's like again. You got to get fuel. Oh, the rebels are under attack again. We are under attack by generic bad guy with starfighter. It's like the Clone Wars could mix it up, right? Uh, Even though some episodes weren't great, they could mix it up at least. Rebels sometimes are like, really another
And
Tie Fighter fight,
and I
really?
would
I get it.
I would say if that's Rebel's biggest problem, it's that's a great problem to have. That um, I
Well, it
would
also
say a
has a
great
villain
problem.
problem. It also has a villain. It
I
absolutely does.
I just wouldn't say that it's a villain problem. I'd say that their villain problem is that they just don't make the like people like the Inquisitors interesting. They tried really hard to make Grand Inquisitor interesting,
He
which they
was.
succeeded at. But
He
then when it came
was.
to these other Inquisitors, they just were like, Vader's coming up in the season, so let's just like push it all towards Vader.
Well,
And
it's like
again,
the
I
fifth
still
brother, and I don't even know. Is it the like what
seventh
sister is it?
or ninth, no, seventh sister.
Like their
Sorry,
personality was they didn't like each other and they disagreed on stuff. And then you had the Star Killer helmet looking dude looking
the
for
eighth
Maul
brother. Yeah,
who fell and died after the saber. I'm like,
yeah.
oh,
But again, I
okay.
think this also is that those guys weren't meant to be main villains. We see how little threat they play. Ezra and Kanan are easily able to hold themselves in a fight against them.
Right, but
And we
with them
see
being
how
Obi, how are you going to explain that the fifth brother is able to stand up to Obi-Wan? How do you explain
um,
that?
he most likely isn't, and he's going to probably be sent away to go either like away because Rebels doesn't take place for a few years from where Kenobi's at. Sorry.
By the way,
Um,
I don't think he's gonna. I think he's in the show.
I
I
yeah,
don't think he fights
I don't
Kenobi
know. I don't
because
either.
because there's a third sister, I believe, whose name's Reva, played by Moses Ingram, who we don't know what happens to. So I assume she's the one who goes after
Yeah,
Kenobi and gets
yeah, and then
killed.
again, I think that's the other thing is that again this season shows us multiple times why everyone but the Grand Inquisitor was a threat. Because again, we see very easy on after Ezra's first encounter with this seventh sister, he's not a threat. He's not threatened by them after that.
Nah,
And again,
but then you bring in Vader.
and then yeah, and I think that's the other thing is that they weren't meant to be scary, threatening villains who are like, oh, whenever the fifth brother's on screen, you should be quaking in your boots right there. But when you see Vader,
Wow. I mean, yeah, when you see Vader, obviously, but anyone would do that. But like the whole purpose, like a lot of times, Ahsoka would be like, they sent one after you. Now they sent multiple. Like it was kind of like, yeah, they are a lingering threat, but they never feel as threatening as the Grand Inquisitor because they
yeah.
never like
But I think that
lose as bad
I
as they did.
But I think that also goes with the difference with the Grand Inquisitor is you had Kanan who was barely trained with the Force at that point. He lets go of the Force for years before fighting the Grand Inquisitor. So he's only now reconnecting to the Force. Ezra is like at youngling status, Force ability at that point.
Right.
Now, if you compared like season two Ezra and Kanan Yeah, they probably have a better chance at fighting the Grand Inquisitor. They probably easily beat him, no problem. But I think it's a matter of story that we also have to remember. The Grand Inquisitor was a temple guard, one of like some of the best fighters in the Jedi Order.
That's also
The,
a good story in season
the
2
yeah,
with him, Knight and Kanan,
yeah,
and then like the vision of him
yeah,
going to fight the two Inquisitors on Lothal was really, really good.
yeah,
And that's all really great
yeah,
stuff where Ezra talks to
yeah.
Yoda. So like I am still very confused. Why did Yoda send them to Malachor?
I don't
Did he
know.
just want to play like a big trick like he always did? Like
I don't know. It's one of those things that, like, to me, it still doesn't make full sense. But I'm sure if someone explained it to me, I'm sure it would.
I really think it's for Ahsoka.
I do
Because
too.
because at the end of the episode, Ahsoka sees Yoda and like they wink at each
Yeah,
other. I really think it's meant for Ahsoka to find out what truly
yeah.
happened.
I agree with that. I think it was meant for Ahsoka. Because I don't think it would make much sense for the Grand Master of the Jedi to send a boy who's like severely struggling with the dark side to go get a Sith holocron.
Right. But it
Uh,
also could have been like a simple explanation like, oh, if Maul gets this, like the galaxy's screwed or something like that. I don't
yeah,
know. But
yeah.
like then again, Maul couldn't get the temple open without somebody else. So why would
Well, again, you got to think, how would Yoda know that? Yeah,
right.
are you gonna
How
imply
would
that? Are you gonna imply that Yoda's tried to open it before?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. So I gotta ask. So the original idea was for Vader to fight Maul, right? There was an original idea for that.
Hmm.
I don't think it would have fit at all. I think it
I
would have
don't
been
either.
cool. I think it
Yeah,
would have been really cool, but like, how would that make sense?
maybe if Twilight of the Apprentice had one other part, maybe.
I couldn't imagine Vader beats him, right? Has to.
Yeah, he's the Batman of Star Wars. He beats
And by the
everyone.
way, Vader won that fight against Ahsoka. Like, but he got caught off guard. That's how he. I think he won for sure.
I'm gonna give the win to Vader. Only because when we see the in season 4 when they come back to the fight in the World Between Worlds, if Ezra didn't pull her out, he was gonna decapitate her. So
Yeah, no remorse either. That's such a
yeah,
good scene.
and I think
Oh wait,
also
not this
um,
time.
I love the music of the fight because it very clearly shows you
Yeah,
who's in control of the fight. Whenever the music's very light and whatnot, you can tell Ahsoka's in control. Whenever the music becomes the Imperial March, you can tell, oh, Vader's dominating the fight.
and I love that. Just like you could see, like Anakin, like it's not like the old man, like crumpled.
Yeah.
Like you could tell it's Anakin from the Clone Wars. He's like,
Bacta, man.
he actually hesitates for a second. I really,
Hmm.
because there is still, and again, I've always said this. I think it would have been more impactful if she died.
Eh, I agree, but
Because if Luke was able to do it, you think about it. If Ahsoka couldn't do it, Obi-Wan couldn't do it, but his son could. And he killed those two people. That's crazy. That's even
mhm,
crazier than what it was. Um, but it's such a great scene. Like you just look at his eyes and then he's like he hesitates. Like he's like, I could do this,
mhm.
but he can't.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, it's such a good scene. And that's the last we see of him in the show, right?
yeah.
Kind of weird
He,
to me, man. I
he,
can't lie.
he's mentioned a bunch, but never
I
seen.
can't lie. It's kind of weird to me.
Yeah. I remember the time around this finale, everyone wondering,
I
is
still
this
think he should have killed Kanan and Ezra, but that's my take.
no, bitch, this show would have been over in 2 seasons now. Come on. I
Should have came back and been like, yeah, I'm gonna finish the job here.
I I really remember around the 2015 time when this finale came out, everyone was wondering, oh my god, was that Ahsoka? Is Ahsoka alive? And I love how Dave Filoni confirmed that she was alive through the shirts of like Ahsoka lived question mark and then Ahsoka lived exclamation point. So I love how
It's
he
very clear to me
confirmed.
that she lived, though. I remember watching. I'm like, oh, she
Yeah,
lived.
because you
There's
can
more
see her.
Ryan.
you can see her walk down into the temple. You can see it's
Right.
very clearly her. Um,
So people did think she lived?
well, people thought it looked like she like fell down, but I don't know why she would walk up to the temple just to turn around and die.
It's very
I don't
weird.
know. I
So
don't know
how did how does she get there? How does she get there if she gets pulled between the world between worlds? How does this work?
because when she went, okay, through the world between worlds, Ahsoka could not go through the portal that Ezra went through. Only Ezra could.
Correct.
So she had to go back through her portal to go forward. So Ezra pulled her out of the moment where she would die and put her back after, and she went back after she dies.
Okay, so when she's walking down the steps, this is after she's been
Yes.
pulled between. Okay,
So when we see
this is
her,
time travel. This is time. This no. This is a multiverse that you playing with. I know it's
not
not, but
not really, because with time travel, what you could do it is that uh she could then go through Ezra's portal and go to the future, but she doesn't, which also is kind of weird to me because it technically then is time travel because then when she goes back, she affects the future and always lives. It's really weird. Weird. I really honestly hope we don't go back to the world between. Um, so I do want a what if though. What if Ezra did pull Kanan out of his death?
they all die.
I guess. I I don't know. Ooh, slouching here. Yeah.
It just plays the music at the end
Yeah.
as they all burn. Oh, that's
Oh
dark.
my,
Sorry.
oh my gosh, Ezra, why are you disappearing? Oh my, da 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 na 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 da. Yes, that's how it has to go down.
Um,
Um, yeah,
Closing thoughts on the season as a whole.
S tier season.
I think it's solid. I told Alex like if I had to compare it to a Clone Wars season, it's like season 3 level for me of Clone Wars.
Really?
Started to get really good, like starting to get good because I've started to watch some of season 3. I'm 4 episodes in. It's starting to feel like season 4 Clone Wars level. Again, not as good as Clone Wars to me. Maybe it's because the style of Clone Wars resonates with me more, and Clone Wars is just vast and you can do more. I will say, what I like is the underlying story of the rebellion growing, and I think it's something that I didn't even realize when I first watched it, but it kind of
Yeah.
needs to be a forefront thing for Andor. So my thing is like, um, I was thinking about it today. Is like this show's kind of like a necessity now.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have to watch it to understand what's going forward in the Filoniverse, what's happening in Ahsoka.
Wow. I'm sorry. I just look forward to season 3. I cannot believe there are only 2 like C tier episodes in this season. That's crazy.
I'm gonna be honest. I watched the Wedge one. I didn't love it. In Tilly's Extraction.
I thought it was good. Season 4, there's not a single bad episode in that
Holocron's of
season.
Fate is fantastic, bro. Like Maul is a menace.
Mm-hmm.
He absolutely captures the whole Ghost crew, and it's just like,
Yeah.
and then
And
he's like,
yeah.
and then you hear twin sons, and you're like,
Mm-hmm. Season 4, not a single bad episode.
Bendu is goaded, by the
Oh
way.
yeah. Oh yeah. Uh huh. Hmm. Yeah.
Uh,
I I love season. I love Rebels. Okay, you know this. You know this. But season 2, it's just so good.
it's aight.
No, it's
It's
not.
aight.
It's not.
It's good, not
I'll
great.
go
It's
through here.
I feel the same way I do about the Book of Boba Fett. It's good, not great.
No, no,
There's some
not.
strong moments. There's some strong characters. Kanan obviously is number 1 for me. Ezra 2, Hera 3,
I'll say right
Sab
now,
4.
going out of the characters, if I had to put them on like S tier and all that, Ezra, Kanan, S tier, Zeb, C tier, B tier, like low B tier. He's good, but kind of lackluster as other characters get focused. Hera's S tier. Don't even argue with me on that.
No,
Great character.
I think she's good, but I think
No,
you
actually, no.
overrate the show.
I'll give her A tier. Sabine S tier. Don't even Trials of the Dark Saber. And
One arc in a
this
4
season,
season show.
the season 4 Heroes of Andalore, such a good character study
2
for
arcs and 4
even
seasons.
even then.
And a
That shit
show
is
that focuses totally on them. I can't say you're S tier.
no, because the show isn't
The
about
only reason the
the,
only reason I am excited for her to be in the Filoniverse is for her to continue Din's story because she's gonna be the one to teach Din how to use the Darksaber. That's literally the only reason.
this
And
show
then you
is.
could kill her off.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
This show is not about the Ghost Crew. It is Ezra's story. They are side characters to Ezra, and I think the fact that they were able to give Sabine a bunch, and I didn't even mention because I skipped over the episode. The
Then why even have him in the
the
show?
because what you just gonna have the show about Ezra? You just have nobody else.
You could have Ezra and Kanan and Hera, and I think the show's just as interesting.
But then you miss like a lot of stuff about
You really
Rebels.
just the more impactful stuff you miss is just the Mandalore stuff.
And those are big things for Ezra and Sabine. I think this also because if you're gonna
Still
say
ship
that,
them. Still ship them.
yes, I don't care if they're technically brother and sister now, like adopted brother and sister. I
Still
don't
ship
care.
them.
Still ship them. But I think if you're gonna say that, oh, the show could have easily went on without them, then I think you could easily make that about almost half of the Clone Wars. Almost, I would
Yeah,
say 90%
right.
of the Clone Wars
Right, but the
characters are
Clone
not
Wars is
essential.
not. The Clone Wars is again. The Clone Wars is totally different because the Clone Wars is meant to be a show about just things that happen in the Clone Wars. It's not specifically fall on one faction.
Yeah, but this is also about these rebels, but it's Ezra's story. Just like Clone Wars was Ahsoka and Anakin's story. This
I,
is You're gonna try to tell me it's not Anakin and Ahsoka story?
they're the main prominent characters, but
They are the main
it's an
characters.
anthology show. It's an anthology show. But you could still have Rebels is not an anthology show. It's supposed to follow those characters, and I think it's kind of lackluster with some. I think if you're gonna, I think for me personally, if you're gonna try to say because Sabine has 2 great arcs, she's an S tier character. I can't say that.
But I
I can't
think if you're
say that.
gonna say that out of her 2 arcs, or I'm sorry, out of her what? Out of her 3 arcs, 2 of them are like S tier. Goes to say
Well,
something.
I could also make the argument that anything with Mandalore has been S tier in Star Wars. I could just be like, has there really
Yeah,
been
so
anything bad? Has there been really anything bad with Mandalorians? And
I mean, they kind of get repetitive. Even in Rebels, I'll give them that. Like, very repetitive story. I'd say they have the honest to God maltreatment. But I also feel that way about the Sith, the Jedi,
I
the First
disagree with
Order,
that.
the Empire.
I think if I had to make an argument, I think the Mandalorians are probably more interested than the Jedi or the Sith. If I'm gonna be honest,
Mm. I don't know if I can
I don't
say.
know. I'm saying is like I'm excited for Sabine. But I'm kind of excited for Sabine just to further Din's story because I think it's the most important Mandalorian that Din's gonna meet.
No. I'm sorry, but like, I would give everyone on the Ghost Crew, I would give them at least all a B minus or above characters. I can't say that about everyone in Clone Wars. I just can't.
Right,
And,
but
and again, I love Clone Wars
anthology
to
show.
death. Even then,
It's totally different. It's totally
even
different. You
then,
cannot compare them. It would not be fair to be. It's not. I. You could say you like the style of Rebels more. But you
style.
cannot. You cannot say
It's
like
the
you cannot say
character
that Kiadi
writing.
Mundi, who is in like 3 episodes prominently, is just he's not a good character. But it's not meant to be. It's an anthology show. It's just supposed to follow different characters. There's no real main character. Sure, Anakin, Ahsoka, and Obi-Wan are the most prominent characters, but Rebels just follows one crew. I expect you to listen, Alex. Let's be real here. It takes them 23 episodes until we finally get a Sabine-centric episode.
But I think
23
I think
episodes.
also the way the story was going, we
23
didn't need a
episodes.
Sabine episode. I needed to first of all, I needed a story to establish Ezra. I feel like if you go
Okay,
in
but
and you start
22
establish
episodes.
again,
22 episodes.
I feel like if you're gonna establish Ezra
22
as the main
episodes.
again, if you're gonna establish Ezra as the main character and you start focusing on everyone else around him, then I'm not gonna give a shit about the main character.
22 episodes.
Doesn't matter. We still got again at that point in the season. It's
That's
not
10
about her.
hours. That's 10 hours. It takes you 10
Again,
hours to establish a character.
again, it's not about them. It's about Ezra. And again, I could also say that it took multiple episodes of the prequels to make Anakin interesting. That's 3 movies until he became somewhat interesting. You can't use
Right,
that
but that's the
because
point. That's the point of because it's a trilogy.
no, he should always be interesting because he's the main character. If the main character isn't interesting until his final outing, and more specifically,
Wow.
final 40
Okay, I
minutes
get
of
what
that
you're saying there.
outing,
I get. I was misinterpreting what you're saying, but I get what you're getting
say,
there.
again, for this show, for season 1 specifically, I didn't need a story about Sabine, Hera, or Zeb. I needed it about Ezra because he's the main character. I need to establish why he's important. If I'm just told he's important, I'm not shown why he's important, then I don't give a shit.
Okay,
I'm sorry. That
that's fair.
from the general viewer, in my opinion, I think they would all agree it would make sense to establish Ezra as the main character rather than be like, hey, he's the main character, but let's go get like 3 Sabine episodes real fast. Because again, ultimately in season 1, what was her purpose? She blew shit up, and she was a Mandalorian. I
Right.
think I think honestly, that's probably the story of most Mandalorians. I can think of maybe 3 others that don't have that story, and that's Bo-Katan, Din, Pre Vizsla.
Yeah,
I can't really
I
name
get it.
anybody else who doesn't have that
I just That's just how
badass.
I feel about the show. I mean,
No,
I
again,
like the show, Alex. I feel the very same way about the show that I do about the Book of Boba Fett. Good, not great.
I'm sorry. I don't think Rebels is in any way, shape, or form near comparable to the Book of Boba Fett. I'm sorry, but you know how I feel about the Book of Boba Fett. I feel like after I feel like they did episode 5, 6, and 7 first, and then they're like, oh shit, we did the end of the season.
Well, you know what's funny? You know what's funny is Alex is they filmed that first. They filmed backwards.
You know what Book of Boba Fett feels like? Rogue One. It feels like they put all the effort into the end and none in the beginning. Tell me I'm wrong.
Well, I feel like they put an effort into the first half. It just, I mean, it was.
Wasn't that good.
I thought it was. It had good moments and good character building for Boba, but let's also be honest here. I don't think Boba Fett could carry his own show.
I honestly like
I
looking
don't
back.
think he was that compelling of
Agree.
a character. I'm gonna be honest here.
Yeah,
Like
looking back, agree. I
he
think
should just
I
he's
said
a
this.
really good side character. When you do him
Mhm,
right, like you did in the Mandalorian season 2, he's a really good side character. And you know what? Some
yeah,
characters should stay one dimensional. And maybe Boba Fett should have. Like honestly. I
mhm,
appreciate what they did with his story, and I actually enjoy Tamora Morrison's performance a lot. But what did this show do? When I look in retrospect, what did it do?
um,
It
Rebels
established
or Book of
no
Boba.
Boba. It
Oh,
established who he was as a person, lead it into the rest of the Filoni verse.
yeah,
But at the end of it, he's like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. What?
yeah.
What?
Mm. To me, what Book of Boba Fett feels like most of the time, it feels like season 1 of Rebels. It feels like the first episode was really good, really strong, not the best, but then we get Droids in Distress, and then we get Fight or Flight,
But
but
it's
then we
not
get
even like that. It's like
then oh yeah,
within episodes for the Book of Boba Fett. Like episode 3, for example. Episode 3 has a very emotional sequence where the Tuscans are dead. And then it goes to the Chrysanthemum fight, which I like. And then it gives us the speeder bike chase at the end, and you're like, there was a lot of highs here and there were a lot of lows.
uh-huh.
Episode 2 was really solid. Episode 1 was like, okay,
Good.
we just was like a prelude in a video game, like kind of just like, here,
Yeah,
this is what it's gonna be out. Episode 4 is really good. And then it's like, okay, he arced out. Let's bring in the big boy.
yeah.
Din, your show now. It's like, why? And
Let's
it's
bring in
like
the silver
Din's
guy.
2 most big impactful moments happen in another person's show.
Yeah.
And then we go back to him in episode 7. He has some good moments, but it's like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
oh, that's it?
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Okay, cool. Do we get a season 2?
No.
No. But anyways, that's gonna.
Well, I'll say this about Book of Boba Fett. And I said this during, I think, the finale talk or something like that. It should have just been the beginning of the Mandalorian season 3, or better yet, have it be intertwined during the Mandalorian season 3.
I could have seen that.
Like
Uh,
take
or
take
and
parts
just
of
maybe cut
episode
out the
1.
flashbacks. Maybe just cut out the flashbacks.
I feel like they're really essential though, because I
Well,
feel
they
like
are, but like you couldn't have all of that in there.
no, but I feel like um, you cut it up. Like you don't put like episode 1 of the Book of Boba Fett like episode 3 of season 2, season 3 of
Yeah,
Mando.
I get what
Mando.
you're saying. I
Like
do get what you're
you
saying.
take you take bits and pieces, and then because I think it'd be interesting to have a side story about Boba, and then we see why Din and Boba are together for whenever they start reclaiming Mandalore.
True. That's fair. But yeah, that was a great talk about Rebels. So let's now segue into question of the week. Alex, what do you got for us?
Oh, the question of the week. We have not done this in a very, very long time. Okay. The question. I have to undo it, and the stickiness of this is just amazing. Ooh, spicy question. Favorite Spider-Man? Who's your
Tobey
favorite?
Maguire. It's so easy for me. He's the OG. I grew up with him. He's the one I resonate with the most. I love the Raimi films. Um, he's got the best villains by far. Um, so yeah, it has to be Tobey Maguire. It's the OG. It's the GOAT.
I have to say it. Yuri Lowenthal is the PS4 Spider-Man.
Talked about the most irrelevant one. That sounds like something he would do.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
You're saying Yuri's is the most irrelevant?
Yes.
Oh, dear child. This is tell me you've never played the PS4 Spider-Man without telling me you've never played it.
I haven't. Because I'm not a
Dude,
nerd, so I don't play video games.
no. It's not even the video game. It's the story, the villains, the characters are all. I won't. I won't give the missions S tier. I'll give the story S tier though. The Mary
I can't
Jane
say
and the Miles.
a video game character is the best. Can't say that.
I can, because he was amazing. It was
I just can't
amazing.
say a video game story is. Can't
I
say
get.
that.
I'll say if it's my favorite actor, like live action. No Way Home sold me on Tom. I would say pre No Way Home, Toby. Post No Way Home, Tom. No doubt.
Oh, post No Way Home. It's Andrew. Andrew stole that movie. Absolutely. Yeah.
Tom's acting and the story they gave him was
I'm
like
not saying Tom was bad. I'm just saying Andrew,
I get that.
he
And
loves he is
you
Peter Parker.
you
Like
also
he is
know I haven't watched the Amazing Spider-Man movie, so I can't give a fair opinion on Andrew.
no, but he's
Poor
like
guy.
the most like you can feel the emotion through him. Um, but
He's
yeah,
okay.
Toby's my favorite, and Yuri's yours. I don't even know what happens in that. So like,
Such a good game. If you're not even gonna look it up, at least look up the major story plot points, and look up the cutscenes because they're so good. Um, Again, I'd say the worst part about that game though was the Mary Jane missions because they were awful.
okay,
Awful.
okay.
Best love interest too, by the way. Like, not
Was
even
it
close.
Black Cat in that game or
No, it was Mary Jane.
okay?
But however, there was a DLC where Black Cat made Peter think that he had a kid. That shit was crazy.
Wow, it's crazy. All right, let's now
Which,
move it.
which if we do not get a live action Black Cat, I riot.
Oh, we will. Let's move now into the fact that John Williams is going to return to Star Wars and do the Kenobi theme. 2 years after composing um,
The Flies of Flywalker.
The Rise of Skywalker, I did the musical signature for Obi-Wan Kenobi. Obviously, John Williams is the embodiment of Star Wars. Like his music
Yeah.
is what makes it so great.
There's no Star Wars without John Williams.
And we thought Rise was the last one. I thought it was appropriate for Rise to be the last one, especially since they were marketing it as the final installment in the Skywalker saga.
What
Like, this
I
is the most
gotta
appropriate thing. Oh, go
I
ahead.
gotta ask. It's been a few years since The Rise of Skywalker has come out. Do you still think this at this time right now, September 23rd,
The
2022?
answer is no. It's not the end of the Skywalker saga.
I was gonna ask, do you think it's the final one? And I don't think it is.
No,
I don't think
no, it's absolutely
you
not.
you do not say something like that and mean it, because guess what? I could have sworn there was this little movie in 2005 called Revenge of the Sith that was also marketed very similarly. But
Yeah, but I
I
mean,
don't know.
different companies.
I don't know.
Money's gonna money. Money's
Exactly.
gonna money.
Like,
But I
what do you think would make more money? Like an unofficial episode 10 or an official episode 10?
unofficial. I think there's just
No.
still. I think there's still.
Official.
I think there's still some distaste. I
No.
really do, man. And I want to get into, but I don't
Look,
want to talk about those movies. I
look.
want to talk about John Williams being back for Kenobi. It's great. I,
I want to hear it so bad right now. I want to hear the new theme.
it's just the Book of Boba Fett theme,
Mhm.
but it's them screaming Obi Wan
Yeah.
Kenobi instead of
It's
Boba Fett.
Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan. Kenobi.
I
Kenobi.
want them to do that now. But no,
Yeah.
I'm so excited to hear it. I am so excited. I'm so I don't think he's gonna compose everything.
No,
I think he's just
I think he'll do what Ludwig did for Book of Boba Fett and just do the main
the
or
main
Kenobi
theme.
theme. Yeah.
But it makes so much sense to bring him back, right? Because this is it, right? Kenobi is it. This is your big piece, right? And it's also within the Skywalker saga, right? It's still a continuation of Vader and Anakin's story. As much as it is a continuation of Obi-Wan's story, you can't have Obi-Wan's story without Vader and Anakin. So bringing in the guy who composes the music for the Skywalker saga makes a lot of sense. I'm surprised he did it because I felt like 9 was the closure, but Lucasfilm is going all out with this project, and obviously there's some other big Skywalker saga characters in it. Leia plays a pretty big role in the show. Kind of rumory there, kind of spoilery there. But Alex, what do you think overall about John Williams coming back, and how do you think Lucasfilm convinced him? Or do you think he did it himself? He just said, I want to do it.
Like this.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, probably.
They
If
were
I'm being
like,
honest.
he was like, hey, or they're like, hey, we need you to do something for Lucasfilm. And he was like, oh, that good old movie Indiana Jones? Of course. And they're like, no. Star Wars. He's like, no, I did last movie. Done. How about $10 million right now? Absolutely. How many songs you need? Just one. One for 10 mil? Please. Absolutely. And that's how they that
Why does
that's
John Williams sound like a happy Italian dude?
I don't know. Yeah, that's how
By
that's
the way, that sounded nothing like John Williams. So
I know.
it went from like an old man to an Italian old man to
Hey.
Mario.
That's how the conversation that's how the conversation went down. They they turned him
Oh, and
Italian.
pretend I'm Kathleen Kennedy. Let me put my hood up and let me pretend I
Oh,
have
get
pretend
the
I
I need you to get the big red eyes though.
let me do this.
I know.
John Williams, I need you. I need you to ruin Star Wars. More of your music.
I
um
know.
uh but yeah, so what do you think about this, man?
Dude, I'm so excited. I honestly cannot wait until the song comes out. I want to because bro, Ludwig kills it with The Mandalorian. I don't know the guy who did it with Book of Boba Fett, but he was awesome. He was there.
I thought the Book of Boba music was all right, but I think Ludwig just works for that time period. He makes it so
Literally.
unique.
And I'll
Kiner,
even say
the
this.
Kiner brothers kill it with animation.
Yes. I think they should be like the leading people now for Star Wars music.
I kind of like what they do with animation stuff, and
Yeah.
then but I like how each different sect has its own thing. And
Yeah.
John's is the Skywalker saga, and it just makes sense for him to be back. But I can't wait to hear that theme, and we're gonna be able to get to watch it together because I'll be graduated and be in the summer, so we'll get to watch it together.
Yes, sir.
We'll have to. You have to wake up at 3 o'clock because you
I
ditched me for
know.
the Boba Fett finale.
Look. We you know the song we don't talk about Bruno. We don't talk about falling asleep. Okay, we don't do that. That's not nice. Okay,
Unreal.
how is that
But yeah,
unreal?
I feel like this conversation was gonna kind of divulge out of this because it's kind of a mini topic. But have you been hearing stuff about Kenobi? The rumors and stuff. You've been seeing some stuff.
Nope. Gotta be real. You know.
Wow. Because it's been
Well,
some pretty.
what rumors? Because I have seen some, but I haven't. I definitely have not seen as many of you as you have.
I made a video about it the other day, so you must have seen them.
Hold on.
Leia.
Yeah, we talked about that like months ago.
Right, but there's new stuff. Kumail Nanjiani's character.
Hold on. Sorry.
Are you listening to my video?
No. Trying to, but I can't find it. There you are. John. Oh no, I made sure I made sure not to watch it because
Oh wow,
I didn't want to be spoiled.
wow. What type of co-host is this who doesn't watch my content? I gotta be honest, half the time I don't see Alex's stuff pop up and I have to go to his page.
Exactly. You're gonna try to bullshit me about. Oh, you don't watch my content. What was the last video I posted?
It was the Multiverse of Madness.
Incorrect.
Oh, Mandalorian stuff?
Nope. That was my last video. Sorry.
Okay, I thought you were,
All right,
yeah.
I'm listening to it right now, but it's so loud.
I
Okay,
don't
John
stream.
William. No, but it's loud on my computer.
Okay.
How do I skip forward? I don't care about the John Williams shit. Screw you, John Williams.
Oh my God.
I love you, John. I love you, John. Oh wow. Okay, cool. The video restarted, and now I have to listen to your John Williams segment again.
Do you want me to just tell you instead of you watching it?
Yes, because Bail Organa. Hi, Bail. What?
Bail Organa. Jimmy Smith is going to reprise his role as Bail.
No,
Okay,
no.
by the way, these are all reports, not from Hollywood Trade. So this is rumor, but it's most likely true. So if you don't want to be spoiled at all for Obi-Wan Kenobi leave.
Oh, Obi-Wan's leaving Tatooine.
Right?
I don't know what else he said. I can just see the video still playing.
Okay. So the main premise of the show, the main plot.
There's a plan to capture.
Can you turn that video off so I can say it? Because it's kind of distracted.
No, the video, there's no audio playing. What does that say? Ah, darn. I clicked on the video and it restarted it.
Okay, but anyways, Leia is captured.
Nope.
She's held on a planet that's Space Reno-esque, Reno, Nevada, for people who are from Europe or otherwhere. Reno, Nevada, kind of a scummy gambler's hive in Las Vegas, or not Las Vegas, in Nevada, excuse me. Vader and Kenobi fight twice.
Sorry. No, they don't.
The Inquisitors try to spring a trap with Leia captured.
Princess Leia.
And what else? Qui-Gon's in it. Don't know what capacity, but he is in the show.
I assumed he would be. I would be very upset if he wasn't.
Obi-Wan's on Tatooine for like an episode and a half.
Oh, nice. Screw Luke Skywalker, I guess.
Uh, yeah, it's kind of weird. Like, but there is kind of an explanation for that. So I guess, kind of in like the first episode, uh, Aunt Beru takes Luke to the market with Uncle Owen, and Obi-Wan wants to buy him a toy, and Uncle
Oh
Owen is not down with that. So
no!
like, Uncle Owen is like casting away Kenobi. So I feel like Obi-Wan's depressed and he's like, I gotta leave. But Bail
Stop!
Organa's the one.
Don't touch me there. This is my no-no square. That's what Bale's gonna be like.
Bail Organa comes and gets Obi-Wan to go and save Leia. So what do you? So first off, and Kumail Nanjiani is playing like a guide. He's playing a guide for Obi-Wan and Bail to find Leia in this like den area. So overall, Alex, with what I just described, I gave you a boatload of information, right? Fighting twice, Inquisitors are sprayed in a trap, Leia captured, Leia's the premise of the show. What do you think about all of this?
Well, so much for protecting Luke Skywalker because he's definitely not being protected by him. Um, yeah, sure, cool. I don't know like how to react because like honestly, I felt like this show was gonna be boring if he didn't leave Tatooine. So
Right now, I know you're kind of, well, I wouldn't say you're a massive lore guy, but do you not like him leaving Tatooine?
no, I don't care as long as it's good for the story.
Right.
Um, I would hope that they wouldn't just make him leave for no reason. I would hope that he wouldn't just leave
He
and be
just
like,
wanted some death sticks.
yeah. I would hope that he wouldn't just leave and be like, oh, I was fucking bored of watching this kid. I'm gonna go leave. Bye. Hope you
But
don't get
I feel
murdered.
like Leia getting captured is a good explanation, right? The other
Yeah.
son, or the wow, I said son,
Son.
the other
Wow. Wow. Wow.
child
Wow. 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 Wow.
of Skywalker, that would make a lot of sense as to why he would leave. And I'm kind of wary of the Inquisitor's involvement because of what we talked about with Rebels. Like you kind of, I mean, you could have the Grand Inquisitor and the Fifth Brother fight Obi-Wan, but we're like, that's not a fair fight. So
Mhm.
this third sister, played by Moses Ingram, I feel like is the one that has to go after him and lose, probably get killed, and that's probably what tees Vader off. And fighting twice. What do you think of that?
Mm. I I'm indifferent about it. I was kind of hoping that they wouldn't fight at all.
I was never
Uh,
on that boat. I was always like, they gotta fight. Are you
like,
not on that boat because of you just don't want to see it, or like A New Hope?
I wanted just because like I was like kind of hoping that like they wouldn't, not in a sense crutch on Vader, but like I don't know. I was hoping that the fight wouldn't be real fights. I was hoping that it would be like in your mind, like in their mind fights.
Now, I think one of them might be. Um, but I also think like the story to make it make sense to me with Vader's line, "When I left you, I was but the learner. Now I am the master." I feel like Obi-Wan has to win. I feel like we know the outcome of the final fight. I
Mm.
feel like we have to have it that Vader like almost dies to Kenobi. So my thing is, if they do fight twice, the first fight is not really a fight. It's like Obi-Wan's last chance to get Anakin back, to get him out of that suit, to pull him back to the light. And I want to see it almost work, right? I kind of think that would be cool, right? It almost works. That he almost gets him out.
Yeah.
And then he loses him. He can't get him back. Second fight, they go full out.
Yeah.
And Obi-Wan defeats Vader. Um, but I guess you also can't have Obi-Wan defeat Vader because maybe they have a draw.
Yeah.
Because Vader doesn't think in Rebels that Kenobi's alive. He doesn't know.
I wouldn't say that he doesn't know. I feel like he knows he's alive, but he doesn't want to let Palpatine know that he's like confronted him before.
I feel like
Uh,
Palpatine would have to know if Obi-Wan confronted Vader.
I don't know.
You feel like he could hide that from Palps?
He was able to hide that he knew that he had a child, so he's good at hiding
I
his
feel like
real
Palps knew
emotions.
that.
I don't know. I don't know. I think I think it either has to end in a draw uh or it has to end with Vader barely escaping.
Yeah. Yeah. And I definitely think at that moment you could see his face. You could do something very similar with what you did with Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Um, because like you don't just bring Hayden back for not to use them even in the suit. So um yeah, I guess that's our thoughts on the leaks. I'm excited, man. I think Leia being the catalyst for why he leaves is very well done. That's very thought out. That makes a lot of sense. Them fighting twice. I just wanted one, to be honest, but I'm not going to complain if they fight twice because I'm going to love it. I think both times. The
Yeah.
Inquisitors I'm interested in, but overall, Alex, you've mentioned it, and I was like, I don't agree with you, but now I do. I think it's make or break. It makes or breaks the fandom.
Mm-hmm. If the show isn't good or if it doesn't live up to fan expectation, fandom's gonna go to shit.
Like it's done. Like I'll be honest with you, we might just become a Marvel channel.
I would. I would be totally down for that.
Because I wouldn't want to deal with it at that point. Because it'd be so broken at that. Like, you couldn't do anything. Because Lucasfilm would be put in a bind, like, oh, we have to go to new characters. We can't just use old characters anymore. Because how long do you live with the nostalgia bait of Vader? Like, I really feel like that Kenobi is also the send off for these characters. That's it.
Yeah.
You don't get to touch them again. That's it. No
Yeah.
more. Right? Because what else can you do with Vader? What else is cool that you can do?
Not much.
I feel like end it. That's it.
I
Done.
mean, I don't think they should. I don't think
No,
they should
I mean it.
end his
They don't touch
story.
these characters any well, at least in the live action or animation
Mm,
sense.
I couldn't get down with that. I could get down to taking a break from them though. Go work on
I'm
characters
saying a
that
long break and a permanent break. I think they're done.
no. No, I definitely think that what they need right now is to just take a break from them. Not stop making content or in the live action or animated. Just take a break. Because I'm sorry, there are characters that need it desperately more. And not like oh, like they could benefit from some no, like they need extra story. Finn. Um Ray, Poe, actually everyone from the sequel trilogy. Um,
I've got to be honest. I also think you wait on that.
no, because I think this. I think the longer that you wait for returning to the sequel trilogy, I think the more that people aren't gonna like it, and the more that people aren't gonna care. I think right now, one of Disney's number one priorities should be fixing people's thoughts about the sequel trilogy because
I
they
think they
did
should
that.
wait a little bit because, and we've
Mm,
seen this, as movies get older, more people tend to like them because those people get older, right? So the kids that saw Wake
oh,
Force Awakens, Last Jedi, and Rise of Skywalker, and they don't see things critically yet. They just fell in love with those characters.
yeah,
You wait until they're 15, 16, 17, you release a new trilogy. So another decade.
maybe. I don't know. It's just
But I've
right
also
now.
been a proponent of getting away from them even. Like go way in the future and just have Grogu and then a bunch of new characters or go way in the past. Right? Star Wars is in this timeline is vast, but then you just have this massive area right here that's only like 60 years of the 25,000 year history.
Yeah. Oh
Expand
no.
outward. Stop. Like after all of these shows, like Andor, Kenobi, Lando, that show's not happening. Uh,
Oh, you were giving up on that show so quickly, and I think it's still happening. I just don't think it's on the priority list right now.
yeah, I don't think it's happening. But besides that, once you get done with all of that, I feel like be like we're done. We've kind of filled in almost all the gaps. You could still do the stuff between 6 and 7, or 6 and 7, like I was saying, with the Mandoverse. And once that's done,
Mhm.
be like, okay, we filled in the gap there. We got the Clone Wars. We got all the rebellion stuff. Let's go to the High Republic. Let's go to the Old Republic. Let's do that.
Well, you notice, right now, they're really focusing on High Republic, like outside of books and comics and whatnot.
Yeah, and that's a perfect
Shows,
segue
yeah.
into our final topic. Is Jon Watts is set to direct a Star Wars series. And that Star Wars series, is it's at least one episode. Is going to be this grammar rodeo, that its codename as. So the plot details are scarce. The Illuminati reported the cast and breakdowns. Uh, uh, Lead roles between the ages of 11 to 12, as well as an older 30 to 40-year-old man. Uh, Murphy's Multiverse backed up the report. Bespin Bulletin says the project will begin filming in Manhattan Beach in early summer, uh, and that it's a High Republic show with the working title Grammar Rodeo, reported by Cinelinx, and it's called the Stranger Things in Space. And obviously, there's the Acolyte as well. So, first off, Alex, I want to ask you, um, what do you think about Jon Watts joining the Star Wars universe?
Well, he
And they
had
also say in this article, by the way, that Favreau is producing.
he's had major success with the Mandoverse. So, or sorry, you got me confused.
You were thinking of
Uh,
Favreau. My bad.
yeah,
That's my fault there. Yeah.
he had lots of success with Spider-Man. I'd be all for it. If it's as good as No Way Home, have my money.
Absolutely, yeah. He's done a pretty solid job. He got the Fantastic Four, right? So like Marvel obviously trust him with their first family, which is big, right? Cuz the
Yeah.
Fantastic Four is going to be a very big thing for the MCU in its own right. Um No Way Home was fantastic. Homecoming is a pretty solid movie. Far From Home, eh, but like it's still a good movie. It's still solid. Um so he really hasn't done anything bad per se. And here's kind of a good list of what we know about this show. It's a High Republic era show. Grammar Rodeo, Favreau executive producer. Watts is in talks to direct at least one episode in a young cast. And I think there's also something else. No, I don't think there is. But I'm excited for Jon Watts. And Favreau executive producing is interesting
Hmm.
because you would think he was only going to do the stuff in his universe. And an executive producer title because Ewan McGregor has it for Kenobi.
Yeah.
So like, and John Cena had it for Peacemaker. So like, I don't know how much influence. Now, like, it could be as something as simple as like they use the volume. So Favreau taught him how to use the volume and showed him what they could do with the volume.
Yeah.
But Watts directing episodes is really cool. He's a great young director, very talented. Um, Great with No Way Home. Like visually, one of the more stunning comic book movies. Emotionally, just on every level. And he's worked with younger actors, so it makes sense. Actors and actresses. Um, but what do you think about this rumored show overall? And uh, are you down with it?
I'm down with anything Star Wars right now. Gotta be real with you. I think Star Wars is having a big high point right now.
Not the Bad Batch, by the way.
No,
Sorry.
not the Bad Batch though. Um, yeah, I think right now they're having a bunch of high highs right now, and I honestly think they'd be pretty foolish right now to not capitalize on that. Uh, So yeah,
And
I
he
think
could do so much in this era, right? I mean,
yes,
um, in just the limited amount of books I've read, you got two interesting villains: the Nile, which are like space pirates that are very
yeah,
powerful, with Markion Row or Marcion Row or however you want to pronounce it. You got the Drengir, which are like uh, forced like plant like force creatures that are very powerful that the Sith even had to trap. So you could do something
hmm
really interesting there with like this show. And um, I've also heard it described as like a Harry Potter in space.
yeah,
So like it's not. I understand it's a young cast, but like I could also see it being like a Ghostbusters, right? The young kids get in trouble all the time. The rebels, the rebellious, and their master has to calm them down and teach them, like, oh, this is not the way. Because I don't know if you knew this, Alex, but you know the episode in the Clone Wars where Ahsoka takes the younglings to with Yoda to what's the planet where they get their crystals?
God damn it,
It's where Starkiller Base is, right?
Ilum.
Ilum. That was supposed to be a known show. They
Yeah,
pitched that to Cartoon Network as an entire show, a show about a master and younglings. So I feel like that's kind of what this is going to be. So I kind of now just thought of this. I have an inkling suspicion that maybe Dave's working on it, but I don't know how John and Dave are doing all of it. Like they're doing a lot,
they
right?
are. They
Mando
are.
season 3 they're filming right now. Gonna get done here in the next month.
Ahsoka.
John will be working on post production. Dave's gonna probably be running most of Ahsoka because he wrote all of it.
hmm
So I assume that's his thing.
Potentially Rangers.
Whatever happens with that, and John has executive producer on this Grammar Rodeo thing here, supposedly. So how does that all work, right? It kind of makes me a little worried that they've kind of spread themselves too thin, but I don't think John's gonna have a massive role here. I think it's just gonna be like, here's how you use the volume. This is what we do with the volume. Um, but I think it's going to be very exciting, and it's a good entry point for younger fans, obviously. But I also think it's not going to be Star Wars Resistance. I'm going to say that if it's in the live action realm, it will be there'll be some more adultish themes, right? Because like we talked about this even last week, I think when we talked about it, like George, what George did such a great job was he created these movies for 8 or 9 year olds, but he understand that 8 and 9 year olds were sophisticated enough to understand more adultish themes, right? So that's going to happen with this show. Just because you have a younger cast doesn't mean it can't be a good product that you can enjoy.
Mm,
And there's plenty of examples of that in media. But Full House, I mean, it's mostly a young cast, but it's a great show.
yeah.
Um, do you got any other thoughts on this project? And
Again, more the merrier. I'm excited for any new Star Wars project. And again, Star Wars is having a real big high right now, and I think they're doing good work, following up on that high.
yeah, I
Yep.
mean, Book of Boba Fett was like a after Mando season 2. Book of Boba Fett was like kind of like a step back almost, or like a little bobble, like if you're playing football,
Mhm.
kind of like you got the ball punched out and you almost fumbled it, but you still got it in your hands.
I
But we're still going to the end zone with Kenobi, right? It was still on
yeah
track. We just had a little misstep. Not bad, but like it could be
yeah except
cataclysmic.
except right now Kenobi's the Super Bowl, and if we don't win, we're fucking fucked.
Or we could have the Bad Batch in the way to distract us from that, from seeing the doom.
Yeah, because we all remember how great the Bad Batch was.
Um, it's fine.
Yeah,
It's
because
better
we
than
all
season 1 of Rebels. Sorry. Um,
don't even. You
um,
have got yourself in a fucking nut job of fucked up if you think that's even remotely true.
but that's gonna wrap up the discussion for Grammar Rodeo. But I do also want to mention the Galactic Star Cruiser. Influencers went to it, and they're going to be reviewing it on Friday. So I'm interested to see what the overpriced hotel is going to be like.
Oh my
Got any
gosh,
thoughts on that?
guys! I can't wait to tell you guys how much this hotel that none of you can afford is, or how cool it is. Um, yeah,
And
that's it.
Lucasfilm is such a great company with their PR that they just sent TikTokers.
You know?
They didn't send their bread and butter YouTube, which like has carried their conversation for a long
Yeah.
time.
Sorry, but I don't
Um,
know. I don't know who Star Wars speculation. I think his name is. I don't know who that is. Sorry.
what was that joke?
Well, no, Lucasfilm doesn't know who Star Wars speculation is, so they're not gonna invite him to
Oh,
their
right.
that
Oh,
to
okay.
their
Okay. Yeah.
$1 million cruiser. Are you
Yeah.
crazy?
I can't. I saw there were some leaked pictures. Pretty bad. I can't look pretty bad. Like it's literally like if you took Canto Bite and said we're gonna do that. That's gonna be the experience. Canto Bite in
Honestly,
Star Wars. And it's literally the type of people you would find in Canto Bite, but just it's real world people going there. So like you can't they don't provide you like clothing to dress. You have to bring your own like extravagant Star Wars outfit. It's
hmm
not just that you're paying 6,000, you're paying more. And I'm paying 6,000 for some of the worst looking beds I've ever seen in my life.
yeah,
I don't like to shit on stuff because I went to Disney World. I've been a couple times in my life. I like it. It's fine. It's
hmm
it's okay. Do I think it's overpriced? Yes, sure. Maybe not Disney World itself. That's okay. But this is like,
yeah. Well, let's just say this, Drew. Um, so you know that I'm saving up for driver's ed and all that. I'm learning how to drive. Vroom vroom. I'm in my mom's car. Vroom vroom. Uh, but no, I apparently okay, not concrete. My family's saving up because we were supposed to go to Galaxy's Edge in 2020, but then this little bitty thing called COVID happened, and our trip got canceled. And you know what I found out they sell um, at Batu now? They sell the dark saber. So I'm going there and I'm going to buy the dark saber. But you know the rule, Drew. What's the rule about the dark saber?
it must be one in battle.
So that poor person working at Batu that day, they're not making it home because I have to win that sword in combat.
Um, yeah, man. I mean, and it's also like you have to do these activities
Yeah,
like
I gotta be
every
real.
hour.
I gotta be real. It doesn't look fun. Does not look worth
No,
the 6 months
I
of
don't want to
boredom.
play sabacc for an hour. I'm sorry. It might be a cool thing that I want to do with my family once, but I don't want to play sabacc for an hour.
Literally, I'll tell you this: as someone who has played,
But it's not
I
designed for me. But who
no,
is it designed for?
I
Because what
know
what average
rich
12-year-old
people.
family is gonna be like, yeah, babe. Yeah, this is me as
Yeah,
an adult, by the way.
yeah,
Babe, so we could take a vacation to Orlando. We can go to Disney World, but I love Star Wars. You know, the daughter of the son loves Star Wars. Let's go to the damn Galactic Star Cruise and let's pay 6 grand, 6 Genos for a family of four. And I hope my wife looks at me and says, I am breaking up with you right now.
yeah.
We are getting the divorce right now.
Yeah,
Because who would do that?
literally,
Who would do that?
literally. I'm sorry. Like, for as someone who like when I was babysitting at my uncle's, I played sabacc with them so many times. I'm sorry. You can maybe play like 3 or 4 games, and then you're bored out of your mind by the game. It's not that fun.
And I'm sure the stuff is going to be good. They'll do fine. Looks gimmicky. It feels gimmicky. It doesn't feel $6,000. I'm sorry.
It
Yeah,
feels
the
like
dinner's probably
something.
cool.
Yeah,
And as an adult, I'd probably love to drink and stuff, but like,
yeah.
well, no, I'm
No, no.
scratch that.
I Drew.
Never drink with.
I have to tell you something after the shows. Sorry.
But yeah, it's like Disney's always been meant for like the middle class or just anybody really, really anybody. But it's like it's always been catered towards that. Like the average family could do it, and it's not. It's very anti-Disney. It's very and like the things they're doing in it with like, did you hear that they're making a book and they're gonna say that Han and Leia conceived Ben and that's where they had their wedding?
Yes, that's it's
Really?
so cringy, dude.
That sounds like just a big marketing thing. Just like you
Oh, it
marketing.
is. It so is.
They're also saying this is where Rey and Kylo met for like a time in between the Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker. That's what they're doing. They're gonna say this is they met.
Yeah, which is just also amazing because it's explicitly said in all the novelizations of the Rise of Skywalker. That first dyad connection that they have when she's on Pisana is the first time she sees him in over a year. So it's great that this $6,000 a hotel is worth more than story.
And it's also built in the High Republic era, which is really cool. I like the tie-ins, but
Of
like
course.
also Anakin was on it, I guess. I don't know why do we need tie-ins for everything? Can't we just have a cool hotel?
Yeah. And it's also not to mention
Oh, you get to go
that
to Batu though. That's
yeah.
cool, right? That's
Yeah,
cool.
they can go ahead and buy this $2,000 piece of jewelry. Why not? What's $2,000 when you're spending six
I mean, you
thousand
get onto
for
Rise of Resistance for fast. Just get on. You just go
free?
on.
For free.
But like it's a little ridiculous to me, man. And I am happy that those influencers got to go, and I'm sure they loved it.
Yeah, I'm sure
But
that I'm sure that they're not spending that money. I'm sure they're not spending their own money to go on that though.
no, but these influencers, who a lot of them I love, a lot of them I follow and stuff,
Yeah,
who already live pretty amazing lives that we all aspire to, are gonna love it because it was free, right? They didn't have to pay; it was out of pocket, and Lucasfilm will usually invite people who will generally give positive reviews.
yeah,
I'm not saying they're shilling or anything, but like consciously or subconsciously, I would do it. I would absolutely love that experience if I got it for free and I knew
yeah,
I could get it again. I just hope that they give a fair and honest opinion, but I'm going to wait more until the average customer goes and tells me what it is. So
yeah,
I'm excited to see what they hear, and I hope they had a great time, but I'm always wary about those type of things. So
yeah. You gotta be.
just I don't know, man. I will never go. I mean, unless I'm rich, I will probably never. And even then, I probably won't go.
It's a
I
waste
don't
of
know.
money. I'm sorry. I could
It
make
is.
a.
It
I
is.
could honestly I could make a better thing in my own fucking room. like
I can go on a real cruise, and I wouldn't. I don't even
yeah,
like. I think cruises are stupid itself, just like a germ trap. But like, I could go on a
yeah,
real cruise for like less than that. So like, it's weird, man. I'm sure people will do it, but like,
yeah,
and I saw people defending it, and I get it. Like, yes, I understand it's made for kids. But like, is it just made for the rich snobby kid that you see in every single stereotypical Hollywood movie? Like, really, is
yes.
that who we're catering to? That's who we're catering to. Um, I don't know. I don't know, man. It's a little disappointing for me. And I hope they had the time of their life, but I also hope give an honest review about it. Tell me if it's worth it. If it's worth how much I'm paying.
Mm,
But yeah, that's all I got to say, and I guess that's gonna wrap up the show. Alex, you got any final thoughts?
don't spend $6,000 on that cruise.
Right. I agree. I agree. Christ. Uh,
Sorry.
yeah, he's not wrong. He's not wrong. But yeah, let's go do it for the show, guys. Thank you for listening, and we'll be back next Wednesday. Alex will craft up some questions for the Batman.
The Batman.
And we'll preview that. I haven't even looked for tickets yet. Jesus.
No, no,
It's
I
come
have
up
an idea.
quick. It's come up quick. So
I'll be
really
buying.
excited.
I'll be buying my tickets. Hopefully, fingers crossed, next Friday.
The day of.
What are you talking about?
It doesn't come out this Friday, but it comes out the following Friday.
Oh, yep. Oh no, because I'll probably see it on Saturday.
Yeah, I'll probably see it Friday night. But yeah, that's gonna do it for the show. Thank you guys. May the force be with you, and may you stay burdened with glorious purpose.